It's time for another Wild Time to let you know where we're at and what we're up to.
We made it out of the triple-digit heat and made our way northward. It is still in the high 80s here today, but it's much better than the 110, 115 in the Arizona area that we left.
In this video, we're going to let you know a little bit about that trip north and what we're going to be up to in the near future.
We got a good weather window to start heading north, and as we were planning our route, we wanted to do something that was going to be quick and have some services along the way. Partially something that we were familiar with, but also be able to include something that was a little bit new, something that we hadn't seen before.
Yeah, we wanted to change it up a little bit, but still we're concerned about fuel economy and things like that. So we wanted it direct and around services like Susan said. We started out along 95 up the border of Arizona and California, heading north, and then we hit I-40 and then stopped for the first night in Needles, California. And we stayed at a KOA there, and it's a little dusty and hot, and there's not a whole lot going on there. It's just in the desert, but it's close enough to places that we usually stay. Usually in that area, about 15 miles away, is the Avi Resort, and has a nice pool and a bank along the Colorado there, a beach and everything. That's usually
so
pretty
if
nice.
we're going to take more time, then that's an option that we would choose. But in this case, we were in a little bit more of a hurry, so rather than going those 15 miles or whatever off the freeway, we just stayed at the KOA where we have stayed before, and it's easy on, easy off, good for an overnight.
Yeah, and from there we were going to head to Bakersfield, and we usually do that 40 to 58. You get on 15 there for a little bit, and then it turns into 58. Go over to Tehachapi Pass, and we were trying to beat some wind and everything up along there. It tends to be a little bit windy through there, and then head over to Bakersfield. And we often stay at the Orange Grove RV resort in that area, but this time we decided to press on. We had left very early in the morning because of wanting to beat the heat across the Mojave, and it's generally uphill from Needles, so we went ahead and pressed on, and we made it to Chowchilla.
Yeah, had never been to Chowchilla before.
No, that was on Highway 99.
We found an RV park called the Lakes RV Golf Resort, which was a small park, but very nice, and includes a round of golf if you're so inclined to want to play golf.
Right. So
had a nice little lake there, and we got to watch a little family of geese that was really,
they were something else.
Really something.
Yeah, they were walking the streets and everything, and they had fountains and stuff. It was just very peaceful and beautiful, actually. After being in the desert for so long, it was our first change as we were headed north, that we actually felt like there were some trees around, and it was quite comfortable.
Yeah, so that was nice. From there, we ventured on to Corning, California, where we have stayed before. There is a casino there called Rolling Hills Casino that has an RV park where we have stayed before, but this time we opted to just dry camp in the parking lot there. Yeah,
they opened pretty much everything the day of,
the day of, the morning that we arrived.
Even the buffet. So they were opening a lot of things. Of course, that was due to the pandemic, that they had been closed, and so we got there for the opening. And the RV park, I think the only thing that they hadn't got opened at that time was like the showers and those types of things. And we just opted, since it was overnight, to just dry camp in the parking lot. It's a very large parking lot, plenty of room there for trucks and RVs and everything, and they don't mind. We even though we were quite familiar with it and knew that they allowed it, we asked management, and they said, yeah, definitely you can stay there. And of course they have food inside, and then there's a convenience store and fuel station there, so it's a good stopover before taking off, and that's along I-5 in California, Northern California.
From there, we had planned to stop in more southern Oregon, but again, we had left early and decided to press on a little farther and stayed in another place that we had not been before, which is actually called Rice Hill, which is a little north of Roseburg. And the Rice Hill RV Park was, again, a quiet, nice little park.
Yeah, it was different, and that was right next door to a truck stop and a couple little restaurants, and it wasn't noisy. I mean, you could hear the interstate a little bit, but again, it was just an overnight. It was very clean and nice, and we enjoyed our time there. We got in very early, and that's just north of Roseburg,
Yeah.
right? No, Roseburg, Oregon. So yeah, we tried a few different places, and we were trying to be, especially in the desert regions and everything, be somewhere where we could have electricity, because especially for Barkley,
Yeah.
we needed to have air conditioning on, so we required a lot of power, and we just don't have that capability without plugging in somewhere. So that helps when it's over 100 degrees outside to have air conditioning on inside. So yeah, we did that, and we just moved on north from there, and we're currently in the southern Washington and northwest Oregon area, and we plan to stay in this area for some time to come.
So our plans were modified a little along the way. As it turns out, we do need to be near some medical services, but we plan on traveling and exploring full time still.
Yeah, and fortunately we've been able to tweak some of our gear and plans, so we've got a lot of fun and informative videos coming up.
So please remember to comment, share, subscribe, and click on that little notification bell.
Thanks for watching. We've got this giant parking lot. I mean, there is a massive amount of spaces here. And before these trucks got here, I was parked here by my lonesome. But I put this mask on the front of my truck for social distancing, because look how close people park instead of anywhere out there.